Welcome to the Industry Born podcast. I'm Colin Reichart, your host, and today we'll be covering almost anything related to cannabis. Well, look, I mean, this is pretty wide open conversation. First of all, it was so great to meet you guys in person at the MJ Biz, right?
We loved your booth at the show. It was incredible. It was like a playground of finishing equipment and new
stainless steel. Yeah, super cool stainless steel stuff.
So, yeah, you guys have come a long way, that's for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, as have you. I mean, you guys have done great. So, just to introduce you guys are the founders of Cryo Cure.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm saying that right, because I'm pretty sure I got it right. But and that's something interesting that I think that is different about you guys than other guys. I mean, we're talking about basically what's typically considered to be freeze drying, right? But you guys have kind of a leg up on everybody else in that arena.
We do.
Yeah, it's just the way that we're using it. We're using it from a cultivator perspective rather than a commercial freeze dryer's perspective.
Right. So, okay, but there's something interesting. You guys just got a patent, and I know freeze drying has been around a long time.
Right, it has. It's been around a long time, and I think the patent that we had to overcome in our obstacles, one of the biggest one had been around for a long time. It was for freeze drying mandarin oranges and rose petals. It was very encompassing, and we basically improved upon the one that was already existing.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's very typical in the patent game, right? Is that you have to carve out a niche in the language so that you can get your portion or your kind of area protected. Right. I think that's exciting. I mean, honestly, that was, to me, when you announced that, I saw that on LinkedIn, when you announced your patent, I was so excited for you guys, because really what that does demonstrate is that you're not just a freeze drying company. You're a group that has looked at this thing, and then what we talk about, this is industry born, because we're talking about something that's specifically for cannabis, which is not what a lot of people do. A lot of people go, oh, well, that shit worked over here in walnuts, so let's try it over here in cannabis.
Right. Well, freeze dryers remove all of the moisture from whatever it is that's freeze drying, whether it's food, dog treats, documents, even, taxidermy.
Yeah, that was the original practice.
Yeah, that's what it's for. You don't want to leave it moisture in freeze dried items.
Right, and there's competition for you guys out there that's what they do. I mean, they just do.
Essentially, absolutely.
And then they tell you to rehydrate it, and it's like, why would you want to do that? So that's basically where our secret sauce really lies, is maintaining that perfect moisture content in the flower.
Right.
It's not going to be dry as dust in your hands. It's going to have just the right moisture content and stabilized water activity too.
We designed it to skip the hanging phase of drying. Yeah. So as soon as I started getting product that was really close to the way it comes out of my traditional drying room, that was the sweet spot for us. That's where we were able to incorporate that final traditional cure of, depending upon what your theory or your method of curing is, it usually only takes about 12 to 24 hours after it comes out of the machine. So incorporating the two gives the consumer a better product in the end.
So, but it's interesting because, I mean, you do have a challenge, because your product does not look like traditional cannabis, in that it basically looks like it came off this plant, just like that. I mean, it's really green. The color is amazing. The structure is there. It looks like it's a full size. Doesn't look like it shrinks. I'm sure it shrinks somewhat, but I mean, it doesn't look like it shrinks very much at all.
No, and all the terpenes are there. That's another big difference. Yeah. It really dialed in the recipe to where all of the terpenes, even the fragile monoterpenes, are preserved.
Yeah.
There was a terpene we discovered in our test called carine, and we're like, we never had that in our cannabis before for traditional.
Well, it's in most cannabis.
Yeah, but
it's actually
just really.
Yeah, it's a common terpene that's in most cannabis. It's just, it evaporates in their traditional.
That's what I was saying. It's just very, very volatile, right? So because I've been studying this for a long time, the drying and curing, because that's post harvest stuff, and like where we fit in, we come in the next step. Most of what we do is following on from what you guys are doing or traditional hang drying. But there's so much that you want to know about these things coming into where we are, because we're advertising that we don't damage product either, right? So if you're keeping those things intact, stage to stage to stage, it would only indicate that your customer at the end of the day is going to have the better product.
Yeah, I like to call it we want the burger in the picture.
Yeah.
Kind of, that's kind of where we fall in. It's like where most people, when they look at pictures of cannabis flower, it's usually wet in the plant form, like it was growing right on the plant.
Right.
And if you're especially a newcomer to the industry or to consuming cannabis, you would go to your local dispensary or retail shop and buy some, and you would get it and look at it and unknowingly and just be completely depressed. It's almost like, oh, I want the one that's in the picture. It's like, please.
You don't get that one.
No, you don't get that
Go
one.
to McDonald's. See what happens.
Yeah, but now you can.
Yeah.
Right? McDonald's or Burger King. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still eat both of those things. However, I've never gotten one that looks like that picture. Anyway, you guys you gave me some of your cured product. I saw it. I did not sample it because I sent it to a guy to test it because he's a connoisseur. So I'm like, I'm not good enough to know.
Well, that's good. That's good. Those are
the guy.
We always like to get their opinion for sure.
Yeah. So
we went to them first. That's why we kind of went to Ed Rosenthal and Danko's, the people that we respected. We wanted their opinion before we even released this. It's just like
years ago. I met Ed. Oh my God, I can't remember how many years ago. It was 2000, probably. What was 2013, maybe 12. It was somewhere early in our startup, and back in those days, Ed was banging the drum, man. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you gotta freeze dry, blah blah blah." Ed. I mean,
He was. That's how we discovered it
because
we saw it in his book. So
right. It's in his book, and that's really amazing too because we've sponsored his writings and his books. We've been in a bunch of them. Going on and on about how he does all his little diatribes on all the different things, but one of the things that Ed I think was really good about it, seeing and having the foresight, was he was really banging the drum early about this is an agricultural product. This is not a niche product. It's going to be produced on X scale, right? And he's talking about the planting process, the harvesting process, the drying. He's looking at all that going, dude, there's no way to do this economically at these volumes, so you have to start thinking about what tools can be used to do this. And then he obviously there's obviously room for refinement within all of those processes, which is why we're here talking about this, is that you guys have reached a level of refinement in the freeze drying space or in the rapid drying space that actually takes you and sets your product out in front of other products and outside of what is traditionally seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of weed in my life, and I one time, I'm going to tell you, this is a horrible story. I traded a 1968 Camaro for a brick that came probably from somewhere in South America. It was so compressed, and I opened it up and pulled it. I regret the Camaro sale because I'm the fucking that car. But we're a lot more now than that brick. But you're pulling apart these little weeds, and they're just like fucking mashed, like crushed together and compressed, and what the hell? That's then, and here we are now, and you're looking at a product that like you said, it's almost indistinguishable when you see the color and you see the shape and you see the structure. It's almost indistinguishable from a fresh plant.
Right.
Yeah, it's really like a live resin flower, we like to say.
Yep.
So you're killing me. What did the connoisseur say?
Oh, I have to give you that information. Positive though. I mean, he was very positive about it. I'm waiting for him to give me a kind of a concise summary report because that's what I expect from a guy like that. But he's been kind of dodging me lately, so I'm like, dude, this has been months. I saw him the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and I will let you, because he's actually somebody who's known. I'll get that to you in an official format because I think that's going to be important. But yeah, he was pleasantly surprised. Let's put it that way. He wasn't sure what to expect because a lot of what you hear about freeze drying is not positive. And I mean, I know from my experience with eating Special K, it doesn't work on strawberries. And I never ate Special K. My wife did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely, I mean, most people have the experience. They have harvest rights, especially if they're doing solventless extraction.
Yeah.
So they want to just put it in there, and they get a bad taste by using those units. And they just like, well, it's kind of one of those things. It's like the guy who tried to create the first telephone, he didn't succeed, but then he's like, that can never be done. And then, Alexander Graham Bell comes along and he just gets it right.
It's easy, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just,
it's never easy though, guys. Cause I mean, this is the thing, like if you can't differentiate yourself from something that's bad, and a lot of companies don't, right? They don't, they continue to produce a bad system or bad idea, a bad product. And we see that all the time with the way that people trim. It's a bad idea the way that it's done in generally speaking. Tumbling and crumbling is not thumbs up, right? So you have to look at things differently, and that's what we've always done. But that's what differentiates you from the rest of the people, is you're actually looking at a product and going, how do I make this product? Not how do I do this process, right? Because they go hand in hand, but they don't necessarily follow. You can't go out of order, right? You've got to start with the product and then refine process. You don't start with a process and hope the product falls in line. Cannabis doesn't give a shit about your process.
No, that's right. No, and then I don't know. I think we told you we're manufacturing our own machines now.
Yes.
We had some other vendors, and we had gone abroad, which our vendor over there did a great job, by the way. But with shipping costs and taxes and duties going up through the roof like they are, it just made sense. We come from manufacturing families, or I do, and I just felt the need to bring them back to Ohio in the Akron area.
That is
birthplace
awesome.
of manufacturing, right? My family's doing that in that field, and I come from that field. And, we really rebelled against making the machines at first, because all we wanted to do is get the tech out in good machinery.
Yeah.
We were let down a lot, and so finally the old adage is, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself.
Yes.
But I gotta tell you, we are so proud of every machine that goes out the door. They're like our children.
They are.
Like, I name them. I talk to them as they get put in the crate. I mean, it's this labor of love.
She
I
really
do.
does.
And I'm
I do. I understand.
I do. I put a hello, my name is sticker on
Good
them.
luck. Good luck as you go into the world. You're gonna be fine.
No, is that weird? I don't know, but it's like
It's not.
Well, no, it's our success relies on our customers' success.
Yeah.
We want our
Absolutely.
customers to be successful all the way through, and whatever it takes. And that's kind of like where I come in. It's just, I understand this industry. This is what I've done my whole life, and so it's easy to walk into these big, huge companies and help them, and just, whether they want it or not. Sometimes I throw my opinion out there, and they're probably like, "Man, just shut up."
They get it no matter what.
Yeah, they get it no matter what. I'm like, hey, right? Ed actually taught me a really, really good method of bringing something to light for somebody. He just asked the question real simply and honestly. Well, why do you do that?
Why do you do that?
Usually, then sometimes you get the
I don't know.
because everybody else does.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why I do that. Somebody told me to do that. I mean, my God, that's how it's always done.
And that's what we find a lot in the industry. There's a lot of followers. There's a lot of people who just, they want to know, like, immediately. It's like, well, who's using your equipment? And can we talk to who's using your equipment? Which is difficult, because a lot of the people that have bought our equipment, they're kind of using it as their secret weapon. They don't want to tell people.
Yeah, they don't want anybody to know. We're like,
which makes sense.
Yeah, we used to tell people that we're like your hairdresser's best kept secret, right?
Right.
And so these people, they don't.
No one's telling.
We have NDAs with nearly everybody. It's like we want to tell the world we're working with these great MSOs. We're working with people, startups, all over the world, and we can't really tell anybody.
It's tough. There's a couple customers that we can use. Like, we have some customers that are in the hemp industry that have been a godsend for us, because they're killing it. They're really, out of all commercial CBD flowers, they do boutique indoor CBD, and they're surviving, and they're doing great. All their customers, like, they have people all over the country and all over the world that are calling them because they have the Cryo Cure. So it's working in their advantage, and they speak very highly of us, and we generally send our customers to them. But we got some other we got clients. We got some in Denver that allow tours.
Out in Arkansas, we just put our big machine out in Arkansas, so they'll be welcoming tours soon. We have some clients that are great with that, but for the most part, the people I want to tell the world about that we're working with, we can. I feel like I'm in the CIA or something. It's so
so you're close. Don't worry, this will happen.
yeah.
We do because we went through the same exact. I swear. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys, we're probably 5 years, maybe 3 years apart.
I said that to everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I
know.
really respect you guys. I said the
Yeah.
same thing.
You're right there where we were, and once the paradigm shifts, because everybody. So the problem that people have is change is this unknown thing, right? And when you associate a lot of money with that change, then it becomes this untouchable thing, and then there's this kind of consciousness around it, right? So I don't want to do it because nobody else is doing it, even if they find out the best thing. And then somebody does find out the best thing, and then you got to go convince all these fucking people, like, hey, this is the best thing. Like, oh, I've heard bad shit. No, but machine trimmers are bad. You're like, no, wait, it's not bad, bro. It's gonna be okay. I promise you.
Re-educate from everybody else's blunders. Like we are truly working three times as hard than anybody else before us with freeze dryers and such. We'll go into facilities and see entire graveyards in the corner.
Oh yeah,
stainless
for sure.
steel of stuff that didn't work.
Piles of trimmers in the corner that don't work. Piles of fucking machines.
Trimmers, it's extraction units and
it's everything. Oh my gosh!
Right?
If you look at the amount of money that's being spent or being blown, right? There's a big problem, and the big problem is secondary marketplace. We're working on that. But that secondary marketplace, when you have a guy that's got this kind of money, he's not looking for that. He's just looking for a solution. So they don't even deal with the companies that they buy from, and they just stop talking to them.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Right. So and then they bury their machines in the corner. So these companies aren't even getting the proper feedback to become a good company. They don't even know, hey, we got to fix this. There's something not jiving here, right? There's something wrong. We got to come back at this and help our guys. Like you said, if your customer's not successful, fuck it, you're not successful, bro. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be the guy.
No,
they've got to be successful. And as you see that change, but as the mindset changes anyway, you'll see that these guys will start embracing, and then it'll be all out, and then that kind of snowballs.
Yep.
So get your big boy pants on and get ready.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've said. It's just there's a few leaders, and then the rest will follow. It's just it's snowballs. So,
but there are early adapters that we really enjoy working with because you have to respect someone that's willing to take that chance, and it is new tech, but boy, once they see it and get a demo of it, it's pretty much.
And I've seen. I mean, you guys have lab results posted, right, on your website. I think I was digging around and I saw those. So I mean, that's impressive stuff, right? So the science is there. That you've got the information backing it up. It's not like we're making this up, right? The problem is that you're not seeing. You're not seeing that as. The problem is you gotta. There's. The biggest problem with all of this is that it's so compartmentalized in these different growing areas and different companies. And they hold on to certain knowledge because they think that that's keeping them ahead. And some of it is helpful. But a lot of this holding on and compartmentalizing is killing the industry. It's keeping the industry suppressed, right? We're not getting the bulk of the value of the change of the knowledge that's coming in being spread, right? So you're not building the whole industry up. You're kind of just like, fuck you, I got my secret sauce, can't touch, and it just becomes this kind of, I'm the big guy with the best weed. Everybody I've ever seen grow weed says that.
Everybody wants to be rich, and everybody thinks that their secret method is going to make them rich, and that's kind of why we filed the patent. It's for, like, if there's a home user that wants to use it for home use, it's there. The information's there for you to use. It's just when you use it on a commercial scale, that's when we have to talk to us, and that's
that's right. I mean, IP is everything. It's fine. I don't have a problem. I think it's the best thing ever. But that also, if the conversation's open, right? The conversation between between growers and producers and these cultivations. So we're on this mission right now. We're out talking with major MSOs, talking about, hey, you can have the same product in California as you do in Kansas City, as you do in New York City. It can all be identical, and we can help you do that. You need something to get you there, right?
Right.
And they're like, well, these guys have these machines and these guys have those machines and that, blah, blah. And you're like, no, we can set the table. We
Right.
can help you make process. We can help you write these things out, streamline everything, get the right equipment into your system, get everything going along. And then when you get that McDonald's effect in a positive way, not the negative way, but in the positive way, where you have product identity and consistency from coast to coast without shipping it, that's what we're trying to get to, And I mean, you guys are helping a lot with that.
That's all we hear when we go to the MSOs is they want the same product from state to state.
Yeah.
And to us, it's like, well, hello, that's so easy if you cryo cure it. You'll have quality flower, and when it's trimmed right, and when it's dried and cured right, and it's up to you to grow it right, which all the facilities we go to pretty much, they grow the best flower. It's gorgeous. And then we'll go to a dispensary in the area to pick some up to try it out, because usually they don't give us samples there. So we'll go get some and we pour it in our hand, and it's like, wah, wah, wah. It's like, what? That was not the same as what I saw on the plant.
You realize that there's some inconsistencies in from the time that it was harvested. By the time it got to retail, there's just a lot of things that went wrong.
And then
and I mean, look at all the room there is for things to go wrong. And this is one of the things we talk about too, is like, if you're, every time you have a system or a process that has a significant amount of human intervention, you have a significant amount of opportunity for error. Will you always get error? God, no. Will you get good stuff? Probably. Will you get perfect? No. Machines, on the other hand, will give you perfect consistency. Will it be the best product? Maybe not the best, but it's so consistent that the bar is way up here now, right? So now you're talking about the bars here, everything's like this. So yeah, maybe I could get that last 3-4% better if I had Michelangelo trimming my bud.
I don't know.
I can't trim enough bud.
You cryo cure it and put it through your trimmer. It pretty much is Michelangelo level. I'm
really
not
is.
kidding.
So
it's really amazing.
All of the samples that we actually give out, we make sure that we run it through a Green Brothers machine, just so that we can tell people that. It's like,
We
listen,
recommend
this wasn't
you all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, 'cause this is great too. I mean, first of all, I appreciate the call out. The interesting thing is like, but you're not just thinking. This is what's important to me, right? And this is why I wanted you on the show, because I know this is what you guys do, right? This is not about your machine, right? This is about cannabis and and how we process it correctly, and your machine fits here, right?
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. You thought about before it, after it, right?
Right.
A lot of guys, they're making machines because they're thinking about this one little spot, right? They're not thinking about what's in front or behind, and they're not dealing with the whole holistic approach. And that's what we always talk about is like, yeah, we're in the processing side. We're in the harvest processing, post-harvest processing side. That's a really broad definition, but we don't stop where my machine stops. I want to make sure my machine's preparing it for A, B, C.
That's right.
D, whatever, right? You have, and so I just think I applaud you for that, because I think that's what being an industry-born company is like, hey, we're really talking about, cannabis as an actual product, an actual commodity.
Yes.
How are commodities produced? They're produced with consistency, and you get the same, so much so that soybeans are GMO. Right, so that's all about consistency, right? Well, I mean, that's all about rounding.
Hopefully, that doesn't happen to our cannabis.
GMO
Please.
Oh no.
I know, I get it, but the point is like, yeah, sorry, I get the negativity there, but the point is,
that's all right. But you're right, though. You're completely right.
Consistency has to come in the processing, right? It has to come in to this part of the business, because you have to be able to move this product. You have to be able to say, hey, listen, man, I'm going to provide you 500 pounds of this on the regular, and you want to know that that's the same shit in January as it is in December.
Yep.
That's right.
And that's the thing that's starting to happen. And the MSOs are dying because they're like, oh man, everybody loves this strain. Well, if they have a brain fart on that strain, all of a sudden, that can create a real negative ripple through an MSO, right?
It does. We've seen that. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. I mean, we see it. You see that crap where people are.
Yeah. Well, I think you should come to work for us. You
No.
speak the same language as us. I swear to God.
I-
It's so great.
I need another job.
I just like that we speak the same language,
Oh,
honestly.
it's wonderful. I was so happy for you guys when you said that you were going to manufacture, man, because I mean, regardless of politics and the fucking bullshit that we're suffering as a country right now, and have been for a while, you know, we sold out years ago to China, you know, and I didn't grow up with that, man. I did not grow up with that fucking idea and that fucking bullshit. I grew up with America, American made, pride in manufacturing. We were the biggest, you know, there was a lot of value to me. And you guys being where you are, you know that part of the country was decimated. I mean, just decimated by the movement of all of manufacturing overseas. And I can't tell you more how how fucking vile that is in my mind, and how disappointed I am with this country and that what we did. And I think of all these people, I see all these kids and these guys growing up, and what they're all wanting to be, you know, these influencers and entertainers. Fuck, when there's nobody able to buy TV and entertainment, what are you gonna do? You know, there's got to be more to this than that. So I'm a big proponent of bringing back manufacturing, and I love that you're doing it here. I love it. I love it. I love it. I just
so proud, right?
Killing it.
Yeah, it just
Thank
makes,
you.
you know, honestly, thank you very much. And it makes it easier to give better customer service.
Yes.
Honestly, there's no barrier of communication. Like,
Right.
you know, we're on spot, we're on site. Literally, you can call me. My machine, or on every single machine, my phone number is literally on the side of the machine.
Yeah.
So there's no escape.
That'll change. So it'll be somebody else's butt. But I know what you're saying.
Limited edition
Yeah,
runs
but
with
there's
this
no
number.
escaping those machines ever.
No,
Yeah.
And I've had the same phone numbers since cell phones were invented. So.
Yeah, me too. I don't know, like, for the
get
first
rid of-
time they allowed you to keep your phone number, from that point, remember that? They
Yeah.
wouldn't let you keep your phone number?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I'm glad I got mine. But no, we really do have hands-on customer service. We have great
That's wonderful.
engineer. And it's just, we build these machines to run 24/7, and they're not the cheapest freeze dryers by any means.
Yeah.
But we build them with such heavy-duty components, Bush and Leibold pumps. I mean, everything's
Copeland
going up and up.
compressors,
Copeland
you know.
compressors. This isn't
They're
cheap
all-
stuff. This is built
Yeah.
to run
Yeah.
every day, 24/7 in a commercial facility. And we don't get the calls. We're hooked up by Ethernet. So if someone's having an issue, we can just tune in immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, you hit a wrong button, just do this, and they're back in business. We get the operations. Honestly, we feel that we're probably the only freeze dry company in the world that has an intimate knowledge of the cannabis plant and
Yeah.
the workings of a manufacturing facility. So knowing how they operate and understanding the plant and everything about it, we're able to tune right into our customer, immediately address needs, and even teach them things they didn't even know about the
Well,
plant.
you
So
can't understate that value, Tracee. I mean, let's be honest. Like, there's a lot that's lost with a lot of companies because they come in with the sale, you know, and their goal is to sell, and so they do a good job at it, and they do, you know, guerrilla marketing, ambush marketing, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They come in and they get a company to buy in on a nice heavy duty cost of equipment, and then they're gone.
Right.
They ghost.
Train them. We keep
Yeah.
hearing, we see millions of dollars pieces of equipment, and we're like, well, when's your training team come in? This is gorgeous. They're like, we're still waiting for them 6 months later.
Yeah.
We're there like days or the day that machine
Yeah.
arrives. We are ready to go.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that's what has killed, you know, the equipment side of this business, is that fucking lackadaisical bullshit, run and gun, drop and go crap, you know. And we're fighting the same problem. And we've always I built this company on that same ethos, that same reputation. It's like, you know, I don't give a shit. Call. I don't. You're not bothering me, man. I got a guy. He'll answer the phone. We'll take care of it. If I have to send a new, and I've shipped brand new machines all the way across the country, which cost me more than I earn in profit on a machine, you know, to fix a fucking problem. And you just do it. Why do you do it? Because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's to us, it's like breathing, but there's a lot of turkeys in peacock suits running around that just don't.
Oh my God,
that.
it's just brutal, and they're going overseas. They're buying there's a lot of quality stuff made overseas, don't get me wrong. But people who go there generally buy cheap shit.
That's right.
They bring it over, they dress it up, if they even bother to dress it up. They sell it off as something that's got this, that like it, they're riding on your coattails, they're riding on my coattails, right? They're coming in and they're saying, oh, blah, 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 this is going to do, they're using, like literally, I've seen my website repeated on other people's fucking websites, right?
Us
You just,
too.
yeah, you just read it, you're like, wait, I wrote that copy.
And so my videos and my every line, and it's like, get your own ideas. Greg
Yeah,
drives
yeah.
me crazy. He doesn't like it when I find that stuff out.
No.
I mind competition. I don't mind, but come up with your own stuff.
Your own shit, man.
Come
Yeah,
on,
you do you, buddy.
Yeah.
I know.
I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it too, but you know what? It drives us, honestly. If I'm trying to catch up with people, and Greg, we feel we're way behind. We stay ahead, and by the time you try to or start ripping us off, we're already way ahead of that.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
yeah.
We're
I mean,
always
so that,
involved.
I mean, is it who's the owner of the Mavericks?
Mark
Huge.
Cuban, right?
Yeah.
There, he said there's innovators, imitators, and idiots.
Yeah.
You can be an innovator, you can be an imitator, but you don't want to be an idiot,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
and we see this the same thing, right? So we have a company that's biting at our ankles, ripped off our sorter, you know, and then you see what they do, and you go, okay, they're doing, but they're missing, right? You know that they're not putting, they don't know, like they're missing a whole section of knowledge,
Right.
and that's what the key is. Like what people don't understand is we have that knowledge. Like that knowledge lives inside my engineering team. Like that's what we do. Like you guys are
Let's
talking
do
about.
what's
You
in
fucking,
it.
you know this.
Yeah,
You're
that's-
constantly
that's
working
right.
on what's next and what's better. And why? Because your customers are giving you the data and you're supporting them. So you're building a better piece of equipment all the time. That's all we do. Like we don't go, oh, let's just try this. That's bullshit, right? I mean, we do try that, but we go after it. We're like, what's the problem? Do we really understand the problem? Got to understand the problem. If you understand the problem, we can fix it. A lot of guys just go, here's the machine. This is the same machine we sold 20 years ago. I don't give a fuck. It works. Take it, you know? And
Yeah.
that, you know, we're never like that. We just don't see that. That doesn't promise you, you know, you're not innovating. You're not continuously. So we innovate like you do. We innovate. We drive forward. We want to be better. We know that the guys who are watching us are watching us. They go to my speeches, they watch my internet, they watch our website, they see our fucking our all of our posts. They're all over our jock all the time. And
I
you're just
know,
like,
right?
Yeah, you're just like, you know what? Hey.
It's
So
all right.
we've been starting to do, like when we launch products, we'll fucking sabotage them with shit that's not real. Yeah, so when they go and they see a product that they haven't seen before, they're like, taking pictures and like there's a bunch of sprockets and shit. Like, wow, how the fuck does that thing work? You're like,
Oh, I love
I don't know,
that.
it's magic.
That's a great idea. That's wow. Well,
I keep
maybe-
waiting for one of them to produce it and sell it. Fuck them, man. They make me so mad. I swear to God.
That is
Because
not-
I like you. I mean, listen, you know, IP is important to me, not from a like a patent perspective, but from an intellectual, personal perspective. Like to me, you know, and we do. I mean, we listen. We don't. We go out. We look at other people's stuff. We look at how things are done, and we go, well, that's one way of approaching it. Let's see if we can do something different, or maybe we can incorporate something like that, or maybe we can use these ideas, you know, and then you research that. That's fine. I don't care about that. But don't take what you saw in my house and go and fucking put your name on it and try and sell it. That's bullshit. Like
It's
I
lazy.
did that.
I know, and it's just it wrenches my guts out. I've created some major products throughout my career. One was the infomercial item of the century, and the other was a major television show that's still syndicated. And I was heartbroken, and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe those were the only great ideas I ever had. But I said, you know what? No, that's not true. You never know when that inspiration is going to hit. But I just was always open to it.
Yeah.
And just by working with the plant and being around the plant when we moved to Michigan and to become legal, I realized I want to smoke this right now. And that was my Eureka moment. I ran in to see Greg. I said, Greg, I don't want it like it is the way it's hanging. It turns brown. I don't like
Yeah.
it. It doesn't taste the same. What can we do? And we just started brainstorming together. You know, a lot of people have great ideas, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
makes life fun, to brainstorm. But to me, what makes people great is the people that have that panache to take it to the next mile and bring it to life, and suffer the blood and the bruises of getting the patent and the financial drain, and to have someone come in and not recognize what it took to bring that idea to life. It's almost like stabbing you correctly right into the back and killing me. It was little deaths each time. And so this time when we had that Eureka moment, we got great attorneys. They're just toothy, and they did a great job writing the patent. We love Layla. She did a fantastic job. And we feel more protected now, and we feel toothy. But at the end of the day, the word of mouth, our customers giving us great reviews, and our tenacity to keep moving forward, that's all we can do, at the end of the day. And I feel that the world will treat us right by doing the right things with our clients.
Well, absolutely, and you'll see it. I mean, you start to see the returns. We built this company's reputation. We're multinational, globally recognized. And we were just in Cannabis, and people are like, "Oh yeah, GreenBroz." You're like, "Wow," you get that feeling. You go. But it's always the same conversation. Like, we're hiring a new guy. He's like, yeah, I did my due diligence. I looked you guys up, and I hear no negativity. Like, all I hear is positivity about your company, your service, your support, your equipment, and that to me is like, well, yeah, that's what we are. Right. Why would you not hear that? If you're hearing something else, somebody's lying to you.
It takes a lot of work. What seems effortless and friendly as those customers engage, it takes a lot, and again, when people don't respect that, and
it costs a lot, especially at the beginning when you don't have anything. You're struggling at the beginning because I'm assuming you guys went through the same thing. Budgets are tight, products are tight, you've got limited access to customers, and you're trying to get out there, and there's a problem, and you have a choice. You find this moment, you're like, I have to either, I got two choices. I can walk away and go get my next $20, or I'm gonna fix this thing. And it might cost you $100.
Right.
You're like, God, dude, I don't have $100. Fuck, But you go and you fix it, and you're like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna stay here in my dirty old T-shirt and ripped up jeans. I'm gonna fix that thing, and you do, and that customer goes, man, this company's fucking shit hot. These guys are the bomb. You got to work with these guys. I don't care if you buy that product or not, but that company, you got to work with those guys. It's them. Right? And then they come to you and they buy you because that's what they want to know. They want to know that they're going to get that love and affection and attention from you as a company, as a people, and that's, I think it's just, it's just different. It's a different way of looking at it. We've all been screwed so many times by the shit we've bought, and screwed by companies so many times. We're all so used to it. You kind of expect it.
Well, honestly, someone said to us at one of the shows that if you haven't been screwed, you're not really in the business.
Yeah, you haven't been in here long enough.
That's unfortunate too.
Yeah,
really
unfortunate. It's like, oh, I got screwed, and then we're like, oh, welcome to the business. All right, you're now. You do become a lot more savvy, but you recognize a lot more of the red flags. As we mature and deal with different people. Boy, I can spot red flags a lot better than I did when I was in my 20s and my 30s. So.
Well, I mean, that's just, we're all maturing, right?
Yeah.
We're not aging, we're maturing. We're getting smarter.
We're the old people in the business, I think, now, because everybody I'm working with 20 years old or something like that.
The other old people are, the Rosenthal group, and they're up there a little bit.
I don't know. Ed's got a lot of stamina. He stays up in the night way later than we do. He's got a lot.
Yeah.
It's an animal.
He's an animal. Yeah.
It's an animal.
I was at one of my. We were doing a show with him. We were doing we were talking about machine trim versus hand trim, and we hired the, we paid for the it's a pay to play. Ed publishes all of his books and all of his stuff. It's all done. You pay Ed, he does it, right? But he doesn't do things unless he's interested in it. You guys got lucky.
You got lucky.
You didn't pay Ed. You got lucky, but everybody pays Ed.
Yeah.
I think it's just because we took his advice out of his book. And
that might be it. He might be.
He's like, you're the first. He's like, congratulations. It's been 10 years. Finally.
Yeah. I've been waiting. And somebody finally listened to me. Fuck, you guys are great.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Anyway, we were doing a demo. We're like, well, we want to do this and have Ed and he was smoking, as he does. He always smokes, but he was, guy can fucking smoke. like there's no, I put anybody up against that guy and they're gonna lose. He can smoke some weed, man, and he was crushing the joints while he's waiting for us to get set up. Yeah, and we're got a little crew there, so it's fuck off time. Everybody's taking time, takes all this time, And I go out back in this beautiful house, multi-tiered house where they had this outdoor grow on these different tiers. Well, they harvested it, so there's this one tier, and there's Ed. Passed out like that, just fucking out on his back with his legs hanging over the edge, just out.
Oh, yeah. He's comfortable.
It must have been a good spot.
Yeah.
It was a great spot, right in the middle of the sun. I'm like, Ed.
I know the farm you're talking about.
We were
there
there.
too.
We were there
We
too.
know exactly. It was like this lawn and garden, home and gardens. It was like the most beautiful hemp. Farm. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah,
that was a cool spot. We learned a lot at that place. They showed us a lot of really unique techniques we hadn't seen before there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the beauties of meeting a man like that, and he's forgotten more than most of us will ever know. And I was never a really good grower, but I mean, Ed was always the guy that I would reference to because he was Ed Rosenthal, like.
His books were solid.
Read the book.
That's kind of what I said. People are on these forums. It's like, hey, man, there's this book you can read.
This is the book, man. So I said, if salespeople, they don't all come from cannabis. You can't rely on cannabis as your sole source for salespeople, or for anything really. I mean, you want to have some fresh blood, but they need to get familiar. I'm like, here, this is the book. Read that.
It does.
And you know everything you need to know about cannabis. Everything else is just some kind of mix or match of that, but it's all in there, man.
Yep.
He works, him and his wife Jane, I don't know if you met Jane before, but they work so hard in their team on that book, and to be a part of it and help get the word out about it and help other people to getting in the industry start reading it really means a lot. It's great.
You'd be surprised the amount of people that are in the industry that have never read that book, and it's kind of like, we probably should.
That's like Cannabis 101, man.
Yeah.
If you're in this, you should read this book. I mean, just out of respect for Ed.
Just out of respect for the plant, honestly.
And then there's that. Like if you don't have that base level of knowledge, you just don't. I mean, what are you doing here? That's an interesting point though. I mean, and I think you guys have probably seen it too. But the corporatization of cannabis, which is happening, we all know this, is bringing a level of lack of experience. I should say, a low level of actual, exposure and experience into the industry that's a little disconcerting in some respects. We run into this all the time where a person who is in a position of authority or power or influence, will make a deal with another company and buy equipment, and it's because they get a kickback. We know how our competition works, right? Like you put my machines against anybody, we win.
Right.
That's it. That's all there is to it. We know it. Everybody knows it. They see it, and then we're like, hey, we want to close this thing up. Oh yeah, well, we just got it from corporate. They gave us these fucking machines, and we didn't have anything to say about it. Well, that's because they're going back. They're going to that guy. They find a guy. They go, listen, man, we'll give you 20% back in your pocket if you recommend. And these guys don't care. And why they don't care is because they've never read fucking Ed's book. They don't know anything about what they're doing. They think
there's money guys. There's money guys that are making decisions that don't make sense.
Yeah. Right.
That's it. Yeah.
And dollars wise, I mean, we're not even the highest priced pieces of equipment on the market, So I mean, it's like it's one of those. It's frustrating to see that kind of stuff where, But the other part of it is you're never going to sell to everybody.
Right.
You just never are, and you have to have competition.
I feel sorry for the people that buy just a regular freeze dryer for smokable flower. I really do, because that means they didn't make an educated choice, or maybe they didn't even know about us. But honestly, that recipe in that freeze dryer is really the next wave of cannabis, and either you're doing it right or you're not.
Well, and it comes down to more than the recipe. I mean, a lot of freeze dryers are just meant, like she said, to remove all of the moisture, and so their vacuum pumps will just dive and dive and dive, and once you equate certain temperatures with under pressure, those boiling points of what you're pulling out of there change. So
well, that's really important. I think that what you're saying there is really important because we've done a lot of work in this regard, because rapid drying is essential. It's the missing portion of true throughput, right?
Mhm.
But you can't do it the wrong way, because then you're completely destroying a product that doesn't accept that kind of manipulation. So,
Right.
um, you know, what I was getting to is, we did the study. We have all the documentation on all the boiling points for all the terpenes.
Mhm.
The volatilization points, like that, you can go up the line. As soon as you turn on that vacuum, and as soon as you change that temperature, that whole shit goes
Right out the
It's
window.
just right out.
Right out the
right on
window.
out the door.
Right out the window. And then when the vacuum changes by 0.01 millibar, that even it's insane, the difference of what happens.
Yeah.
So being able to build a machine that can hold a specific window of vacuum or
Yeah.
never go below a certain point is key. That's really what happens.
It's really interesting because we've done testing on that as well, and we don't freeze dry. That's not our gig, and I am starting to work with some cryogenic stuff, some liquid nitrogen stuff, which I dig. But we're not doing the freeze drying, but trying to work out rapid drying, dewatering, and that kind of thing. That the change in the volatility, even in cannabinoids, which are pretty stable. But even there, you can see a degradation in THC levels if it's not done right, and that's, to me, was like a massive eye opener. Like, what it can't lose points.
You can't have that.
You can't have that. Like, what, your 26% just turned into 20%.
Yeah.
No.
No, you can't have
So
that.
there's a lot to it. It's not just throwing a shit in a box and saying, "Well, it works on my potatoes, so I think it'll work on this," which is the
Well,
approach
Yeah,
that most people take when they bring a piece of equipment to an industry.
right.
And I know you see this. I've seen it, and we actually have one of your competitors we met at the show, and it's a funny story. He thinks I'm a musician. He keeps wanting to play music with me, and I'm just like, dude, I don't fucking play anything, bro. I got long hair. I don't know what to tell you, man. I keep hoping we're gonna get together and jam. I'm like, you'll be jamming, and I'll be hanging out.
I can see him saying that, though.
But this is the level of of
Connection.
attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people,
Right.
they don't connect in the right way. They just
Right, and they're
Lot.
missing what's missing. It's the same communication thing, right? What's missing is they have no fucking clue what they're talking about,
Right.
and they don't have any clue when it comes to the equipment either. That same approach, this kind of idea. Well, that guy's got long hair, so he must be a musician. That kind of like dogged, like oh bullshit is the
Yeah.
same approach they're taking to cannabis, which is noise. It's bullshit. It doesn't work. You're not paying attention to your product. The product will tell you everything you need to know, man.
Do you
Just
think
pay
fish
attention
like
to it.
that- Do you think fish like that fillet themselves eventually? I mean, we're still all kind of new to know what the fallout's going to be, but
You need those guys.
huh?
You need those guys because those guys demonstrate how fucking perfect you are and what a great company you are and how good your equipment is. Without them, you're standing out there balls ass naked with nobody to compare to, right? Now you're standing out there looking like a god. You're like, I look all right, because that guy's a fucking loser.
I like that
I like
attitude.
that.
I like
That's
that.
a great way
I
to
like
look
that
at it.
attitude.
It's so true, though. I used to get so frustrated, and I still get frustrated. Sometimes we'll lose a sale to somebody, like I said, and what the competition's doing and how they play their game, and you lose a sale, and you're thinking about the whole thing, and I'm like, I don't got fucking time to think about that.
Right.
I don't have time for that. I got to make sure that I'm on point. What's wrong? Do I have a problem? No, I don't. Okay, I'm good. Move on.
Right.
Now that customer has a problem. I'll keep in touch because
Right.
shortly they're going to either be done with the technology totally, right? And they're going to be like, well, we're going back to hand trimming. Now I'm back in. Or they're going to be calling me up and going, well, you should have got your stuff. Yeah, it's okay. We can still get it. It's still here. We still make it. It's not a big deal, But it just becomes a different conversation. It's just later. Yeah, okay, fine, move on. But you guys are still young in your business cycle, so every sale is so impactful. And I remember, this is us a couple of years ago, and you're just like, and I've had a couple of years where it's like, holy shit, man, we need to sell a couple more things. The fucking lights are gonna go out, So it happens, business cycles, but there's an intensity around it because you're kind of stuck in this place where it hasn't started to flow, right? Once it starts to flow,
Right.
and you get this volume starts coming up, right? all of the we'll have this conversation in a year or two, and you'll be like, oh yeah, wow, that was so funny back then. Yeah, because it's not like that anymore, and that's how it is, And but you do need competition. The competition that sucks is the guys that go out and badmouth you, and I never could understand that, and I think that's bullshit. We don't call I talk shit about my competitors, but I never talk shit about them by name. Right. I never call them out in front of people by name. If somebody has a competitor's piece of equipment and they start to complain about it, I will say something as negative as, I've heard that before. I'm not going to go down the road of telling them it's a Ford Chevy. I'm going on a diatribe. It's a Ford Chevy thing. You come into my house and you say, man, I fucking hate Fords. I'm like, I'm a Ford guy. Well, I'm not going to listen to you no more. We're not having a conversation. Right? So you have to be careful what you say and who you say it to and why you say it. So we don't talk shit. We just let it go, man. It's like, we know, the competition knows, everybody knows who makes the best machines, and we make the best trim, and everybody knows this, right? So they have to come out and they have to say shit about us because they don't have any way to say they're better than us. They can't do it. They have to cut us down. We don't have to do that. We come in and show them that indeed we're the best.
Right.
That's it. And that's what you do.
Time catches the breeze, it's a cool breeze, and sometimes it's a hot breeze, but when you are starting a new tech and it's a new company and changing things, it happens. You get trolls, but then we have a fan club now. So the fan club people really keep us afloat.
Yes. Oh my God, Instagram is magic, right? So we get those guys all the time. You'll go on there and somebody will post something negative and they just get fucking pounced on.
It's wonderful. And I just love them. I'll reach out to them and thank them. I hug them when I see them. It's like they're part of our family, but I've never really known them before. It's just they believe, and you have people that keep lifting you and encouraging you almost at the same rate as the people grabbing you by the ankle trying to pull you back down.
So. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, I don't know if you heard this. When I was in the Navy, this is when I first got exposed to this concept, but I was getting ready to get out. It was about a year out. And everybody's like, oh, dude, there's so much opportunity out there, bro. You're going to make so much money when you get out of this thing. It's going to be awesome, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, well, fuck, I'm out. Put in my notice, hey, I'm getting out. Bro, don't leave, man. It's nothing out there for you. Just don't do it. These fucking Klingons, And the thing is, and the same thing, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, because it's true. It's so fucked up. But, in family or people around you, when you're starting out, that's the greatest idea, man. Oh, dude, you're so fucking brilliant, dude. You're gonna kill it. You're gonna kill it. And then pretty soon it's like, dude, it's never gonna work, man. You just fucking let that shit go, man. You just gotta get back about your business, man. Don't fucking, just drop all. And you're like, dude, how about you fuck off and leave me alone and let me do my thing?
Oh, so many people love to share their fear on you,
Yeah, they just shit on you. They want to shit on you. They don't have the balls to do it themselves. Pardon the. But they just don't. They don't have the fucking intestinal fortitude to go and do this thing and suffer or they're perfectionists and they figure out in their mind a reason why it won't work and then they fucking stop or whatever their personal problems is. I don't give a shit. That's not me. I do this. I go forward all the way to the end. I spend the money, spend the time, spend the energy, do the investment, do the work, fucking suffer, get embarrassed, get back up, do it again, and that's what we do. And that's what we do. That's what makes us different than
I don't know any other way, nor does Greg. That's just what we do every day.
That's what you do. Yeah. I couldn't come to you and tell you a different way. Like, that's the thing. And people who they don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Right.
They don't know what this conversation is about.
Right.
They hear somebody say, oh, just get off your ass and work. And they're like, how dare they say that? It's the truth, man.
All the opportunities are out there. You could do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. It's really the third eye in bringing things to manifestation, and the law of attraction is it's real. Yeah. When it's a worthy idea, it's insane how the universe opens up for you and things fall perfectly into place.
Things start to come into place, right? Mm-hmm. And I look at that stuff too, and I go, it wasn't that hard. Mm-mm. It wasn't that bad. It sucked going through it.
Focus, get it done.
It's just keep going. What are you going to do anyway? You're going to do something. You're going to sit around. You're sitting around and watch TV and smoke weed, or you can fucking go out and do some work, and then sit around and smoke weed. You know what I mean?
Nothing worthwhile comes easy, right?
No, it really doesn't.
But it all comes. I mean, it shows up when it shows up. I
doesn't
find it
matter
very
if
frustrating. I think
you're a
it's
man or a woman either. There's so many opportunities for men and women too. If
yeah.
you're a woman watching this, don't feel like, well, I'm a woman and it's a man-dominated industry.
She's the boss.
I'm boss lady. I'm the CEO, and that's the president. So
She's the boss.
women are getting stuff done in cannabis, and that's what a
Yes.
great, exciting time to be here. I'm not experiencing a glass ceiling. I'm kicking it
Right.
down the road, busted through it already. But honestly, I've been really well received. Gender really has, I've been very blessed. Some women, not so much. And I hear
Yeah.
those stories and I feel terrible. But
Well,
honestly,
there's some really great organizations, women's organizations that have sprang up really strong in cannabis, and they're still doing very well.
yes.
Um, but the focus, I think, for that level playing field, it was never let's make this. It has to be this many and that many and fix it. It was just like, let's play.
You're right. It's just
You
open.
know, let's
you
do
know?
this. And
Yeah.
people were like, oh, and everybody took these opportunities. And a man or woman or whatever, it was just like, oh, the opportunities exist and they flourish, right? I
Yes.
think that the one statistic I heard not too long ago was that we have a lower percentage now of women than we did 4 years ago in senior positions. And I'm like, what does that mean? Do we have less women? And I don't think that's what it means. I think we just have more people coming from other industry, from the old boys clubs and the corporate. I think that's what you're getting diluted, because I still see really powerful women, really strong personalities, really, really great people, who are making wonderful cannabis companies, women making these great cannabis companies and running these great cannabis companies. So I don't know. It was just one of those statistics. You can't follow any of that stuff. You just have to kind of go with what's available. It is available, and you're right. And it's good to see you in it, and it's good to see, such a large group of women running companies, and we all play ball together.
We do. It doesn't matter. We just all have this passion for the plant.
Right.
Either you do or you don't. And if you don't, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, but we're all courted by that, which is, I really enjoy that part of our industry. It's like a tribe. You got good members of the tribe and you got the bad ones, but you're still a tribe nonetheless.
You're always going to have the bad ones.
Yeah.
But that, again, if you don't have the bad ones, you don't know what the good ones look like.
That's right.
You know?
You are
Yeah,
so
that's why you gotta have
It's
that
like-
shitty competition out
Got
there,
some real
man.
nuggets in there. I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Well, pass them on. Those are
I
free.
will. I'll probably borrow those.
And by the way, I know you guys opened the invitation for me to come out. I'm coming out. I really want to see your shop. I've been doing this. We built from my garage to a 50,000 square foot facility, state of the art. I put all my money into the coolest shit, right? And that's all I've done. And I love this more than the cannabis aspect. And I say this, and I know people go, "Oh, it's the cannabis," and I really appreciate the cannabis aspect. But more than that, I appreciate you guys creating, bringing back manufacturing to the United States. To me, I'm a veteran. I served. I did all that stuff. I love that part of my life. I love this part of my life, and it's kind of reestablishing and coming back to what I always thought as a kid was the American dream. And you guys are that. It doesn't have to do with your gender. It doesn't have to do with the color of your skin. It doesn't have to do. It's the fact that you're doing it here in a country where we can talk about it and enjoy it and appreciate each other's success and laugh about each other's failures. But it's back here. It's back here. It's no longer gone, right? And we're back in touch. And I just think it's awesome, man. I really appreciate it. So kudos to you guys for being an American success story and a cannabis success story. And it's exciting. It's good stuff.
Well, thank you to you too, and thank you for your inspiration to us. Honestly, we have been watching you, and you've been inspiring us up for the whole journey. Honestly, Colin.
Yay! Something good.
Absolutely.
All that work is paying off,
It is. Oh, we hope to
More
make
than
you
you know,
proud.
more than you know.
Absolutely.
I
Awesome,
believe
man.
that they'll be writing about us in history books, just like they were when they talked about the Industrial Revolution and all the
Yeah.
different technologies that came
Right.
out then. This is the Green Revolution. So there is
And I think
industry that's being born. It's the books are being written right now, and we're the players in it, and that's the most exciting part.
it's exciting.
That's what's
It's
really-
exciting. It is a turning point, and it's really, really magnificent. And again, I think the biggest portion of it, and I know we won't get all manufacturing back. Don't get me wrong. I'm not naive, but the biggest thing is that it is a push to come back. It's a push to come back and buy local, support local. I mean, we buy everything from the United States that we possibly can, and that's what we do. So you guys are obviously in the same boat. I mean, I know you guys are talking about quality and quality first, and so that's
Well, and
that's what
can
this is
I
about.
make a little announcement here while we're together
Sure.
talking about manufacturing?
No.
We have a huge demand for home units right now for Cryo Cure.
Wow.
People think, well, they called Greg a Chad because we don't service the home grower, and we really want to. We love
I'm
home
more like
growers.
a Brad because there's some bro in there. You know, there's a bro in there. Come on.
So, I mean, people are very upset with us because we don't have a home unit. And honestly, the home growers are more supportive than the bigger people right now. They're
Yeah.
ready for it. They want to do it, and they are embracing it. And we would love to. I would launch a unit for home in a minute, but it's very expensive to manufacture freeze dryers. And
Yeah.
we can't put out a piece of caca. I mean, if it's bad, they're going to be calling us. And we're not here to take angry customers' calls and ruin our reputation.
Yeah.
We want to, and we are working on it, but right now it's really a challenge to get it in that price for someone at home to afford
Yeah.
and what it costs to build it today, especially with everything that's going on with part shortages. So I just want to tell everybody, if they're watching and they want to know where in the hell is the damn home unit, we're working on it. We really
Well,
are.
let's do this, man. We'll help you.
All right,
do it.
please, let's do it.
100%. I dig it.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, we see it. I mean, we're as big as the cannabis is getting. The home grip business is important. We're launching some small hand tools this year that are designed for that size of grower. You know, cost wise, production wise, all of that stuff. So,
yeah.
100%,
Well,
man.
they're waiting.
Down-
We're just
down
to do
it. Yeah.
Because that's me. I'm
Yeah.
the home grower. That's
Right.
what I do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, man. And I know that they what's that home unit they sell? It's like $6,000, I think, $5,000, something like that.
Yeah, they're usually the ones that are out there. They're like, the most expensive one you can get is like right around 10,000, which is it's
With
real
the
that,
back pump.
and that's really
And they have issues.
Yeah,
And they have horrible
from what
issues.
from what we've heard.
From what we've heard.
That's what we've heard. I mean, I have one.
It's so hard to make it. Listen, why don't we not give away all this on the show? But let's do this, man. I'm happy to get out and talk to you guys about it. I'm gonna set a plan. Let me see if I can get out there. Send me an email with like good visit times for next month. I'll make a weekend out of it. I'll fly out. Maybe I can talk my wife into coming, and we'll come visit you guys and check out the facility, and we can talk a little bit more about this and see if there's something that we can do together, because we have pretty good capabilities. It probably we have room in our manufacturing cycle, so there's opportunity there for sure. I'd love to be a part of this, especially as something that we can kind of make in larger quantities. It's always nice to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't even believe our brains all together. I feel sorry for the people who aren't going to be there for that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, they're going to miss out, aren't they?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Secret sauce.
Hey man, we could play some rock and roll together, brother.
Yeah.
That's right, brother. I'll bring my guitar, my axe.
We just jam all night.
Oh fuck.
Oh, we're going to have a good time.
Oh man, so what we'll do is we're there. We're over an hour. There'll be some edits. This is how this goes. Probably not much. It was pretty clean. If there's anything in there that you felt like we didn't talk about anything too Scooby secret.
I don't think so. No,
So
that was really a lot
if you have
of
any
fun.
concerns, though, you just let us know. And
Tracy does all the talking. I just sit there and smile.
that's okay. Someone's got to look pretty. It's all good, man.
If I say something wrong, then I'll
That's
hear
from my
about it
TV
later.
shopping days. It's all I can do is shut up once I see I'm on camera. I
That's
can't
what I want. See, I want to get a product onto the TV shopping network. That's my goal, and I have never been able to do
have
it. That's what
fun. I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than selling $20,000 a minute at a time.
but
you
at
know,
the
Oh
same
my god.
$60,000 a minute.
Don't tell them the downside. What's the downside? Is that sometimes they make you fund your orders, and they'll tell you, we need this many units. You have to fund them. They will not pay you for them. And if it doesn't do good the first time you go on, exit, and then all
Yeah.
that stuff that you had to pay for, their inventory gets sent back to you, and you're stuck
Sitting in
with
that container somewhere.
sitting in a container somewhere,
yeah.
stuck.
That was
Yeah.
one network, not the other so much. HSN didn't do
HSN,
that.
QVC did that, which
QVC
was
was known for
screwed
that.
up.
Oh man.
They were tough, but boy, when you had a hit on your hands,
Yep.
boy, what a rush. There is no finer rush than hearing that producer in your ears. You're sold out.
That's what I'm wanting to see.
You're
I'm just
sold
wanting to
out.
see that.
If you had $1 million of inventory and they told you you're sold out, you're like,
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
talking
don't even
about.
fly home. I just float home after that. But it was a good time, but it changed a lot. Product manufacturing changed a lot, and dealing with China all the time, and inventors are crazy. So I just kind of decided to change gears. And Greg's like, I'm going to Michigan to grow, be legal. You coming? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm coming. So
Good
here
for
we
you.
are, 5 years later. We're just really enjoying the journey a
Oh
lot.
man, I again, so impressive. Such a great story. Such a great story, man. Thank you guys. Um, It'll get wrapped. We'll send out a note for you guys to get a cover photo. We'll get all your details on all your
We got all that to you already. We already got you our headshots and stuff.
Okay,
So
yeah, and so all your deets, your socials, and all that stuff. I'm getting bugged from the outside. Sorry.
all right, no
All
problem.
that stuff will be put up, of course, and then you'll get a notice when we publish.
Okay.
Probably take a couple weeks to go live, but we've been
Awesome.
banging them out pretty quick. But this is a good one. Time has come.
Have a good
This
time.
is a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for having us. We
I
really
could talk
appreciate
to
it.
you
My
for
pleasure.
forever.
Absolutely. You guys
Yeah.
are great.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all for joining this week's podcast. You can check us out at GreenBroz.com and all the socials at GreenBroz.